Feel like music sounds better with you. What is going on, guys? It is Michael back here again with the Modern Mindset, making another video today. Let's get the window up. Today's video, I want to talk a little bit about present, past, future, and how your outlook on these things can also really affect you and more or less really shape you as a person overall, and how you're going to be kind of living your day-to-day life. For me personally, I took a lot of time to kind of figure out about how do these things affect you and what kind of staying in each of these realms do to your life in general. And the importance of that is that it's really going to pretty much dictate how you're living your day-to-day life. There's a lot of people, and I'm sure you guys have heard it before, who have talked about this, who've talked about what happens when you get stuck in the past too much, what happens when you get stuck in the future, and how important it is to be in the present. And I didn't really understand or appreciate the degree of which that was actually true, to be honest with you. And I found that over time, throughout at least you could say the short years that I've lived, it really has a huge impact. The major thing that I found was you got to just kind of get your head out of both those realms, get your head out of the future, get your head out of the past. You know, when you sit down and you just kind of think about past mistakes, things you did wrong, things you could have done better, you pretty much sit there and you're not really controlling anything. You know, you're pretty much just, I guess you could say, soaking yourself in regret, soaking yourself in disappointment about yourself, choices you made that you can't really change at the end of the day. There's countless things for me that I feel like I've done in the past that wasn't so much, positively contributing to my life per se. And a big reason why I felt like I was held back for a good amount of time was because I was always stuck in the past about things. I was always stuck in the past about, whether it was like relationships, whether it was setbacks, things I could have done better. And I know we all think about those really cringe moments that we have, things that we've done in the past that we're just like, oh my God, man, I can't believe I did that. But yeah, you're pretty much just gonna sit there and eventually, the consensus is that you're gonna get depressed from that. You're gonna get depressed from constantly looking at something. It's almost as if like something's on the other side of like a glass wall. You could see it. You keep replaying it, but nothing's changing. You can't actually touch it. You can't actually change it. There's no way you can modify it. It's really a bad place to be. And then another caveat, you have the future. You have the idea of what could be, the idea of what's going to happen, how is it going to happen, and you pretty much find over time that the more you sit in the future, of course, it's good to be, have foresight, to have a plan, to have your life in check, to have the idea of what you want to do with yourself in check. But the major, major, major downside to staying in there is you're just going to be develop anxiety. You're going to become anxious. You're going to become worried. And there's actually a philosopher. I forget his name. I want to say, I want to say it was Marcus Aurelius or it was Socrates. One of them. I could be wrong, but staying in the future only potentiates anxiety, and sitting in the past potentiates depression. The only place you can really find true ease, true relaxation, true bliss is truthfully in the present. Take in the moment, soak up the moment, try to be around and just exist. Look at the trees. Right now, I'm driving by all these trees on the street. I'm seeing all these cars driving by. It's a beautiful sunny day. I'm just appreciating that. You know, I could sit in the car right now, and honestly, I'm guilty of it. Your mind just kind of dives into different parts of your life. It kind of wanders off, and you just start thinking about something that's not even there, about something that doesn't even exist. What's the purpose? What's the point? You know, I'm just so fortunate that I can see, the nice sky, nice music playing, just relaxing. So just soak it in. You know, soak it in. Try your best to be present. I feel like people could be so worried about, am I going to succeed? Am I going to get where I want to be? Is it going to happen? Creates all this anxiety. I actually remember a few years ago, this is like 5, 6 years ago when I was first getting out of undergrad, I was getting my head wrapped around the idea of writing my entrance exams for medical school. And I remember just worrying so much. I sat in my car. I was just chilling, very like beat up Nissan Altima. I remember sitting in a parking lot and I was just thinking, like, how am I going to get there? What's going to happen? Is it going to happen? Forming like all this anxiety about it all. And eventually, when I just took it day by day, I lived in the moment. naturally, I mean, I'm going to say, to be honest, I'm most likely, I can't say for certain, but most likely I was still worrying about it all. But I just kept going. And eventually, whatever came to fruition. Nothing changed. Me worrying about it, right? Me worrying about all of it. Me thinking about how's it going to happen. Of course, they say preoccupation with certain thoughts make things come to reality. Some people call that manifestation. I don't know. I mean, there's a degree of that superstition aspect, but there's also the aspect of, naturally the thing you think about more, you're going to work towards it. But it was really eye opening when I'm looking back now that I probably spent a decent amount of energy wasted just because I kept worrying about it. And eventually, look what happened. It existed, it came to life. So get out of the past, stop dwelling on things that happened to you, dwelling on things you did. Maybe it's not mistakes, maybe it's something that happened to you in the past. Learn from it, move forward, try not to go too forward where it's impeding your progress, and just enjoy the present. Just enjoy the present, man. Enjoy the present, think about what you have, and just live day by day. Enjoy this ride that we have. We're only here for a limited time. May as well just enjoy it instead of being preoccupied with things that have already been written in your life or things that could potentially be written into your life. Anyways, guys, that's it for the video today. I hope you enjoyed it and have a great day, and I'll talk to you guys soon.